Ms. Wade, you okay? Good evening, everybody. It's my pleasure to call the March 10th, 2025 meeting of the Dayton Town Council to order at 6:04. And I'd like to remind everyone, there's a sign-up sheet at the entrance for those who are interested in speaking during tonight's public comment portion of tonight's meeting. Could I have a roll call, please, Ms. Wade?
Miss Pennell? Present. Mr. Hensley?
Here.
Miss Matthias? Miss Estes? Mr. Dijak?
Present.
Mayor Lee?
Present.
Mr. Sager?
Here.
Thank you.
And Madam Clerk, if I may just note that again, Ms. Matthias mentioned she's at a doctor's or emergency appointment right now, so that's unable to join.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Bradford. If everyone could please join me for an invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Lord, thank you this evening for allowing us evening to come together for the betterment of our town. We come to you today with a attitude of gratitude, and we pray that we have the encouragement to speak on it and act on it every day. We hope that you stay with us this evening as we discuss all the goings on of our town. Be with us and help us travel safely as we get home this evening. Please be with our military and our healthcare people that keep us well. And anybody if we could all find a way to help somebody who's hungry, we all know somebody, that would be great too. So we pray all this in your name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Well, it looks like we have two proclamations this evening, and I tried to throw Miss Wade a curveball, but it didn't work. She fixed me right up. So I'm gonna do the proclamation for the Responders Wellness, and then I'll have Mr. Dijak do the one for Civic Engagement Week. That sound like a plan?
Tag team, all right.
So I'll do the proclamation recognizing First Responders Wellness Week. Whereas first responders, both career and volunteer, from 911 dispatchers, law enforcement officers, firefighters, emergency medical services, personnel, search and rescue teams, rescue pilots and divers, emergency management professionals, and members of other organizations in the public safety sector come together to protect and aid the public in the event of an emergency. And whereas through their service to our citizens and in their selfless contributions, responders endure increased instances of stress, trauma, burnout, mental fatigue, post-traumatic stress, heart disease, anxiety, depression, and other challenges that adversely affect their mental and physical wellness. And whereas we acknowledge that mental health challenges, suicidal ideation, physical health morbidity, cancer risk, and early demise are all potential realities within the first responder profession. And whereas many of our Dayton residents either serve or volunteer for roles in our community and other jurisdictions, and are especially proud of our dedication to our Town of Dayton Police Department. And whereas we appreciate the essential contributions of first responders and renew our vital commitment to providing comprehensive training and resources that support all areas of first responder wellness, addressing the mitigating risk factors for suicide among first responders, and reducing the stigma that surrounds help-seeking behaviors, and making available competent resources to all first responders, an expression of our deep gratitude for their service. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Sam Lee, Mayor of Dayton, Virginia, and on behalf of the Town Council and citizens of Dayton, do hereby recognize March 24th through 28th, 2025 as the First Responders Wellness Week in the town of Dayton. And I call this observance to the attention of all our residents this day, the 10th day of March, 2025.
Here.
Um, And I'll,
Take it away there, sir?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'll second that. Absolutely. And secondly, another important proclamation, just recognizing Civic Engagement Week. This is modeled to a national-wide effort as well as the state proclamation recognizing that this week, actually, March 10th through the 14th is Civic Engagement Week. I think it's never more important, and I think especially down here in Dayton, where, you know, local government is it's where the rubber meets the road, and it's where we're closest to our fellow residents and citizens. So, like I said, if we can do our own part here, and have that civil discussion, then there we go. We're all better for it. So whereas our nation's longstanding and ongoing experiment in self-governance requires a citizenry with the understanding of the nation's laws and government, the skills for discussion and working together across differences, and a widespread commitment to the civic strength of our communities. And whereas civic education is vital to sustaining and strengthening the constitutional democracy in the United States of America. And whereas in 2026, the town of Dayton and the Commonwealth of Virginia will be celebrating the 250th anniversary of the great American experiment in independence and self-government that sparked the knowledge and engagement of Virginia-born nation builders. And whereas the Dayton Town Council unanimously adopted a resolution on September 9th, 2024 to commemorate the 250th anniversary of independence in the United States and to participate in the local Virginia 250 committee with Rockingham County, the city of Harrisonburg, Rockingham Historical Society, and other partners. And whereas Civic Engagement Week seeks to unite our communities and highlight the importance of civic knowledge, skills, disposition, and engagement that provide the foundation for an informed and engaged populace. And whereas the town of Dayton exhibits local representative democracy closest to its citizens and serves as a microcosm for civics to reflect a variety of perspectives and interests for the commonwealth of our community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that March 10th through the 14th be Civic Engagement Week in the town of Dayton. And we encourage our citizens to observe that during this week.
thank you much, Brethren. And now, next we will open our public hearing tonight at 6:12. And it'll be open to public hearing to hear comments on the FY 25 budget amendment. And as a reminder, speakers are asked to speak directly to council, state their name and address, and the council is not to respond to public comments. And it looks like,
There's no rule that says we can't.
it looks like I don't have anybody signed up to speak. Is that correct? If there's nobody signed up to speak, we will conclude the public hearing at 6:13. And we'll go to the next on the agenda, which is the approval of the minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes from our work session and regular town council meeting on February 10th as presented.
Second.
That was Mr. Hensley and Mr. Dijak second. Any discussions? All in favor?
Aye. Or do we need roll call?
Do we need a roll call on that?
Yep.
All,
Okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion approved on the agenda. Motion passes. Thank you. The only action item, where we'll move on to the action items now. The only action item this evening is the approval for the finance director to carry forward funds from the prior fiscal year to FY 25. These are previously budgeted and allocated capital expenses and facade enhancement grant funds that were unexpended, approved, and budgeted from the previous fiscal years that need to be carried over into FY 25 budget for record keeping purposes. And is that something we need a staff report on?
Covered.
With that? Okay, If not, then we need a motion to approve the finance director to carry forward funds from prior fiscal years to FY 25.
Second.
Ms. Estes,
Give Mr. Hensley. I heard a second from there.
There you got it.
okay, so Ms. Estes and Mr. Dajak, second. Thank you very much. Any other questions or discussion?
Point of discussion. We're talking about the adjusted totaling 676,068, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
All good? Yeah. Ms. Wade, I need a roll call, please. Thank you, Krista.
Mayor Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Pennell. Aye. Ms. Estes. Mr. Sager.
Aye.
Mr. Dijak,
Aye.
Mr. Hensley,
I
Matthias.
should have said abstain, but that's okay.
Oh, my. Thank you very much. Motion passes. Thank you. Next we have, public comment. And we will now hear from, any citizen who signed up for the public comment portion of tonight's meeting. Each speaker will be limited to 5 minutes and the time may not be shared with other speakers. I encourage comments to be respectful as we will work together for the betterment of Dayton. This should be an opportunity to find common ground and seek solutions. I'll remind council, this is an opportunity for public comment. We're not to engage in discussion during comment period. And I think I think we have Mr. Shank, Mr. Fred Shank.
My name is Fred Shank. I'm getting my head of myself here, Mr. Mayor,
That's great.
Mr. Bourne, and now my name is Fred Shank. See, first thing I want to tell you all, say to you all, I want to thank man sitting back here at the table, hair in his eyes, Chief Proud. They was out at the market last week, I think. And I had a good talk and everything. I went home, had my grandchildren explain to me what it was all about. I believe you was there.
Yes, sir. I was.
But we do thank you all for your presence. That is with this day and age. The fact is, well, I won't go into it. The clock is ticking. I do want to talk about pond though. And there's only one of you people sitting up there that knows my history, I think, and it's Mr. Sager. None of you others know anything about me. Well, you know about me, but I'm talking about Silver Lake Welding Service now. I bought that place in 1974. Maybe some of y'all weren't even born then, I don't know, but. And over the years, we have grown and expanded. And I bought a property beside me, Shenandoah Valley Meat Market. Bought that. And that's how it's happened. Back when I bought that place, the Shenandoah Valley Meat Market, it bordered what is Mrs. Lyons' place now. And so I had, when I wanted to build, I bought it to build. So when I went to build, I had to rezone it. So I rezoned to, I believe it was M1, which is light industrial. And I also rezoned her property too, there, M1. Well, if you were zoned M1 on both of them, you could build right on the line. And so that's why that fence is on the line there. And now she has annexed, or you all annexed her. You didn't ask me for my approval for it. You didn't ask me whether she, or she didn't ask me whether she could build a house on it or anything. So it is. Now I can't build next to the line like it was. Believe I'm told that I can't build, I have to stay 15 feet off. Well, am I wrong in that? Y'all tell me so. But, well, we can talk about that later, but, that's valuable land to me. And, so that's a little bit of a history on Silver Lake Welding Service.
Mhm.
Well, now it's come along and in this pond, I forget what you all call it, future plan or something. But anyway, you have, in that plan, it's proposed to take the entire property of Silver Lake Welding Service and make something out of it. I'm not sure what. I've never been told. Nobody has approached me about it or anything. Not one soul. I was here a couple meetings ago and I let you all know that. Nobody come to me, talked to me yet about it. I haven't heard a word about it. So, I'm opposed to this here until I find out more details about it. I won't say what, but I also want to go a step further. I have been there 50 years last September. Mrs. Lyons has been there according to the county real estate assessments. She built her house in 2019. She was also on this committee that come up with it. I believe somebody's got their own pocket in mind here. I believe it's a self-interest of trying to get rid of Silver Lake Welding Service and make something that will enhance her place. I'm opposed to this. It's just not. I've been there 50 years. We employ over 30 people. Been true. Thank you all for your time.
Mr. Jank, we appreciate your time. And I don't believe there's anybody, is there anybody else? I don't think there's anybody else signed up for public comment. We may have some answers later on. Yeah. We'll move on to staff reports, starting with, Mr. Moore.
First, I want to talk about the March 8th smoke alarm campaign that Rockingham County Fire Rescue conducted. They passed along a few stats on that event earlier today. They actually covered an area larger than they expected. Approximately 223 residences. They were allowed to enter 92 of those residences where they installed 43 alarms. 32 homes were left safer and over 5 batteries were replaced. At least 3 residents they entered with the resident believing that the alarms were in working order and they were found not to be working. So that's good knowledge to have. I think their campaign was very successful. And they plan to return. They actually did 4 additional homes, I think at residents' request, in addition to that, because of what they saw in the advertising stuff. But if any resident would like to have these services provided to them, they could call Rockingham County Fire and Rescue, and Assistant Fire Marshal Tyler Jessup will be glad to work with them to get that scheduled.
They can enter the apartment next door on College Street and actually prepare one in the hallway. along with the.
They were all over the place. They did a good job.
My cat still traumatized them. My house, they're open the door,
They usually are.
and they have a ladder, and the car hat. Yeah, I think it's.
It's like the mailman
It is.
and dogs. Uh, Okay, we have the spring 25 newsletter is in production, getting ready to hopefully be mailed out this week. Lots of good information in it. You've already received the event card. So those both have lots to announce going on in Dayton. Let's see, the Silver Lake Nature Trail, the signs in Pollinator Gardens and Sunset Park sign. Those are kind of underway, scheduled to be installed soon. The signage. Your water bill, there is an update in the newsletter, but I'll just put it out there tonight. There's been some changes with the Postal Service. And water bills are now being sent to North Virginia. So please be aware it can take a few days longer for delivery of your water bill. However, failure to receive a bill does not relieve your obligation to pay. So if you have questions or concerns or need to know the bill, the balance, please give us a call here at Town Hall. We'll be glad to help if you don't receive that on time. Upcoming events, we have our Easter egg hunt on Saturday, April 19th. The big event, the Red Bud Festival, is Saturday, April 26th. Our summer concert series start in May on the 17th with Little Walter and the Convictions. And then we have in August 5th, National Night Out. So all of those are in your newsletter, and we'll have hard copies here available. If you don't get one or would like to pick one up in the mail, same with the cards. And I'd like to, February was a tough month weather-wise. I'd like to give a shout out to Public Works and PD. I think we had 4 days that affected Town Hall with the weather. This month, it was a terrible month. Weather-wise with cold and snow, but we made it through it, and thanks, the streets were kept safe, clean and clear. And so they were working overtime, lots into the night, into the wee hours of the night to make sure that happened. And we welcome a new employee, Josh Smith, to Public Works. He started on the 24th of February. And that is all I have, Mr. Mayor.
That's a lot. Summer can't get here fast enough. Thank you, Mr. Bourne. Chief Trout for the police.
Mayor Council, we all have slides at the port party. You have any questions about that? I will hit on, marketing. Get it out. I'm really pleased to be set up here. If you send the bill, actually came to the board. Really good. Lots of questions answered. I appreciate the market for allowing us to. It reached out to us. Work together in something. Partnership.
It was very well done. We appreciate you doing that. We had a lot of good comments from neighboring towns.
It was well attended, as you said, but the more important thing is the subject matter. Senior scams are on the rise, as we know, so. We can all be great to people trying to scam us. Yeah, I hit
Every- Every day.
I actually have a ticket and from there, and I need you to look at it and tell me if it's real before I pay it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's a black picture. You ain't even got my car. I think it's a scam, so.
Oh, my. Thank you very much, Chief Dre. And we have a guest in for Mr. Bowman this evening. Introduce yourself again, sir.
Yes, sir. Daniel Rose on place of Jordan Bowman. Good to be here tonight.
Thanks. Thanks.
Both ties.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Any report or anything you need to add?
Nothing to report from your town attorney.
All right. Thank you very much for being here. Mr. Dowjack for finance, sir.
Yes, sir. For those that are in attendance earlier, as you know, we're going over the FY 26 budget. Certainly looking for resident input, and we had the CIP joint hearing with the Planning Commission on February 27th. Planning, so certainly invite, and we're going to read that and invite everyone out here to exercise your civic engagement. Come out on March 20th for the Planning Commission's discussion on a recommendation of the capital improvement projects, and that'll come back to us. And that'll be part of the April budget hearing. So I think we'll be on schedule there, April 12th, right? That will be the budget hearing, and then we'll certainly go from there in May to consider adoption of the budget. Sorry, 14th. Yeah, thank you. Okay. April 14th. There you go. Will be the budget public hearing. So fantastic.
Very good, sir. And Ms. Mathias is not here, so Ms. Pennell, before we caught you before you had to leave. Is there anything to report in personnel?
Nothing to report. We did not meet officially for this time.
Thank you very much. Are there any council members that have any comments before we go to the next item? Comments?
So I was gonna save it for new business if I may. Just go ahead.
Okay,
So I wanted to highlight that March is Women's History Month. And it's an annual observance to highlight the contributions of women to events in history and contemporary society. And it's celebrated during March in the United States, United Kingdom, and Australia. And 2 days ago, we had International Women's Day with marches and rallies in different areas around the country. And I want to just thank all the ladies in the room for being here and your contributions. Thank you. But you're born in a test tube.
there you go. Anybody else? JD?
We're speaking of the comprehensive plan that hasn't laid out how we've rented out downtown and run off Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
Taking these properties management. Now, I understand this is granted.
Mhm.
But it shouldn't even be in there. We know very well it's not. So why do you think it's in there and read on? You know, the other council members after that. I mean, they don't know what, so they pass. Why not take it out so the plan can get it out? That it's can't be set in our plan of it. So allows them to think that it's down with five things possible. If it's not over, you can have to fight on some of that. But why have a minute to be not a minute? The visiting plan that is at for that.
Well, I think we'll answer that, but plan and vision is two different things.
Have
And
a
so,
plan that people don't want, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna interrupt because we need to, what we need to do, this is what I would like to see happen, because we've not even sat down and really talked about it. Y'all talked, you brushed on it at the other meeting, but we've not sat down. We need to have each part of the plan separated out. And I want y'all to go through and tell me and which ones y'all got permissions for, what you have information for before we even vote anything through, because any of these residents that are not for, I don't think it's taking over your property. I thought it was like putting sheds on your property and then making changes to the farmer's market, but y'all didn't talk to them. But yeah, we paid for it. It's a great idea. It's quite similar to the Atlanta plans and all that. But if it's not okay and you don't have permission, what we need to do is go ahead and pull those parts out and then readjust. JD has met a lady, does this for a living. She wants to come and help us. We need to take out the parts that we can't do, not pass it through, table it until we figure it out. Because there's not enough discussion on it, but you don't have permission to do anything to anybody's property. Jack's against it, they're against it. Like, and Main Street and roundabouts. And again, I will say, imagine a tractor pulling a trailer with 50 hay bales on it, having to go around a little tiny roundabout to go back to their property to do contain their work. The turkey trucks shutting down Main Street. I've spoken to many Mennonites. They use that. It's just ridiculous. And some of it just, we need to sit down and have a meeting and take the time to discuss each section and which ones who don't have permission, they need to get out. You're not gonna have us vote this plan through as is, because that gives y'all a loophole to think, hey, we can just go ahead and put some more money in CIP. We're gonna get this passed through. You're not. It's not gonna happen. And 20 years from now, 10 years from now, his son will be running it. It doesn't matter. I've come up with a thought for your little shed thing. I'd like to discuss that with you in private in another, yeah, with the sheds. And I know it's not your idea. Well, if you want to get technical, I know that part of the plan
Yeah,
didn't
let's-
make it through the vote. Or
Right,
the two
let's
people
just-
that were there in the meetings, don't stop me, because it never got passed through. Y'all put it in there. Or you allowed Tony to put it in there with the pond. But there's another option. I have an idea for you. We need to talk about it another space. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's just-
saying that you do. I'm telling you that I have a
Let's-
decent idea for sheds
Okay,
that's not on his property.
okay. Let's
That
get, yeah.
needs to happen that way.
Yeah, and we
just
appreciate
need
it.
a
And
board. That's
before
not
we
me.
move to the,
That's
before we move to the
Because
next,
we're in agreement.
yeah, before we move to the next item.
It's the same item.
And Nick, and I didn't have anything planned, but I understand and appreciate your input, Emily. And I'm sorry.
I said, no, you really don't, because
Yeah.
we're still not.
Let's,
I wouldn't say I understand if I didn't. I'm-
We tabled it. I had it tabled for a
Yeah.
reason, and we never worked on it.
well,
And we're still talking about you trying to pass, it's not gonna pass.
What?
Unless
I
you wrangled
I
her
understand.
with all the phone calls
I-
that y'all make behind.
we
closed doors.
we always understand and appreciate your input. And I don't, that with, before I pass the baton to the Ralph to speak on the next item, because you're going to cover some of these things. that we've
I
been
wanted,
hearing
I
about.
had something I wanted to mention.
But I can say with certainty that nobody up here wants to take anything or do anything against anybody before we do that. Now, and I'm not making an excuse at all. I wasn't in with Emily and Ralph when all of this got started, but I'm on the team now, and I'm very confident that whatever we do in the future, it'll be with a only after we go over it thoroughly and make sure things are right. But we don't want to purposely disrupt anything or take anything. Or I think Mr. Jackson, before he finished up, spoke on it a little bit. But we certainly will look at everything. And with that, I'm gonna move to the unfinished business, Bradford, concerning the plan that we have carried over for January 13. And you're gonna give us a little update on just that.
Well, I think, that I think to Mayor, appreciate that, and Ms. Estes and Mr. Sager, appreciate your input on this. And I think what we've heard is, it's been a long process here, of, several public workshops, a number of, residents, business owners, public, stakeholders involved in this whole process, multiple public workshops. And I think I agree. I think we're at the point where I think tabling would be in order to come up with that common ground and to revise. I think there's a lot to like in the plan in terms of it's a vision, it's a concept, but it's not a prescription. And it's not there's nothing in there that can be forced on anyone. There's nothing that can be taken. It is a menu of options that provide a vision for what, downtown could look like. But it's not going to happen without, willing participants and stakeholders. There's a lot in there that was good, a lot that people were very excited about. Beautification efforts, downtown improvements and bringing in new businesses and preserving old ones and preserving, the fabric that makes Dayton unique and attractive to the whole valley. I mean, we got people moving in here. We've got, new museums, we've got new businesses, and we've got new opportunities. We've also got challenges. And I think that this plan envisions that, but it gives options to pick from. And none of that can move forward without any, action by council and further conversation with property owners and business owners and residents that it may impact. So I think that's what this kind of sets forward, and it's looking at, 5, 10, 20 years down the line. So I mean, I would propose, because I've heard from, fellow council members and residents too, that a lot of people are excited, like what's in here. But there's things that, not everything. I mean, I'll admit, I wasn't exactly enthused about roundabouts and closing down Main Street and that type of thing. So I think to study that further, I think if, I'd like to offer a tabling too. But with an idea that we would come back with a future resolution that would basically state, reiterate that we're committed to downtown improvement, we're committed to the, Dayton, the Virginia.
We can have the conversations that Emily's talking.
Right, exactly. Have this conversation and then also state in that resolution, here's what it's not, it's not a prescription.
Mhm.
It's it's
I mean,
it's
there's-
concept and vision and
That's
then
part
to
of the
just.
plan, not all of it.
Well, look at, we
So
could,
just
we could
table
state
it.
what it's, there you go, table it with the resolution to bring back with specific caveats. That
Mhm.
reiterates the plan offers a menu of options, not prescriptive. And that further council actions would have to be taken to evaluate, study anything that's proposed in that plan. And so that's what I would propose or make a motion if that's all right for. We can discuss it
JD,
further, but
so-
motion to
see that
table
one?
with the resolution to accompany that.
I'd like her to come to council. I'd like her to come and meet.
I just, before we get there, I'd like to. Just put that motion on the table and
And I will second your motion.
So,
Or so
so-
moved,
so-
and then second.
well, say it again. So this way you can get,
yes, okay. Okay.
Okay. all
But
right.
yes,
I understood what you said.
Yeah, so moved, second. There you go.
Emily,
Yeah.
Ms. Estes and Mr.
okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
and Miss Estes. Okay, do we need a roll call? Okay, let me have a roll call on that, please, Ms. Wade.
Ms. Pennell,
Aye.
Mr. Dijak,
Aye.
Mayor Lee,
Aye.
Mathias, Ms. Estes. I couldn't hear you.
All right.
Mr. Hensley,
Aye.
Mr. Sager.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, motion passes. All right, we got any other new business?
Yeah, we need to set up a closed session meeting sometime for next month or at the next month meeting with just council. We have some things to discuss, JD. Yeah. I'd like to call for it. Need a second. We don't have to do it tonight. We can do it next month. Before we finish some things. It's about finances and stuff like that. We can't do it publicly, so we have to ask for it. So I have to call for it. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you. So next month.
For a
guys,
closed session?
Yeah, we need to hold a closed session.
Personnel issue.
Yeah,
Closed session with personnel? And I'm sorry, who?
She made the motion, I second.
All right, Miss Emily. And Mr. Hensley, second. Ms. Wade.
That's just for clarification, that's just to have a discussion on.
Yeah, there's some things that need to be discussed. Yeah. yeah,
At the April meeting. Thank you, Brad.
either before or
Thank you,
after. I
Bill.
don't care. We can do it at the work
Work
session. I
session.
don't care.
Okay,
We can't talk about stuff like that in public, so.
Personnel matters that are
Yeah.
accepted for the statutes.
There you go.
and we'll do a roll call on that. All in favor?
All right.
All opposed? All right. Motion passes on that. Any other new business? I need a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting.
Hey, you're gonna motion to adjourn the meeting?
Oh, yeah, so moved, man. Let's go.
Miss,
I gotta go
Miss-
check on my dad.
Miss Estes, and I need a second.
Second.
Rather than bring up
JD?
the downtown project without making changes.
All in favor?
All right.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned at 6:43.
Chief, will you look at that? If I bring it up here.
I really did understand what you were saying.
You can freeze after all the trees.
Like, seriously,
It's not sepsis, but I'm not